Hello everyone, I wanted to make a short video in connection with the recent event yesterday, Yom Yerushalayim, where Israel became officially, at least recognized by the Western world, especially America, the capital of Israel. And it sounds like a very simple thing, but it's a huge step in history. Another level of the coming of Moshiach. I want to quote right here from Shir HaShirim Rabbah, the Midrash on the Song of Songs. Said Rabbi Yochanan said, Jerusalem will become a capital for all countries and draw them toward her like a river in her house. Obviously, this is at the end, because at the beginning there'll be a war, but Jerusalem is supposed to become the capital of the world. Avot de Rabbi Natan says, in the future, all nations and kingdoms will gather in Jerusalem. So there are many quotes just to give you a basic idea. But it's important to know that we kind of know the basics of what's going to happen. I want to share with you a Zohar. A Zohar, for those who don't know, is one of the main books of Kabbalah. So this is how it looks. I'm gonna read straight from the English to go faster, and the idea is that although there are things happening in the world and there are a few scenarios possible, obviously none of the prophecies that were said didn't happen, meaning that all prophecies were true and happened, and now we're coming towards the end. I want to show you here what the Zohar says about the prophet. He does. The Zohar is not a book of prophecy, although it has everything is 100% accurate and has what it seems to be prophecies, but you're going to see that it's almost impossible that this was written about 2,000 years ago, a bit less, around 1,500 years ago. It is impossible that this could have been known in advance. So let me read you. I'm not going to read the whole passage, just what's relevant to us right now. So it's speaking about Ishmael as being the son of Avram also, and that the reason why Ishmael has a strong grab on the land of Israel, a strong presence there, is because he also was connected to a covenant to God through the bris milah, through the circumcision. Obviously, it's much deeper than that, but the fact that he was circumcised is a circumcision that is done a little bit differently than the one of a Jew, and at a different time. So it's not the perfect circumcision, so to speak, according to the Torah. But the reason why he has a grab on the right to the land is because mostly of that. So it says like that. And so if you want to know where it is in Parshas Vayera, portions of Vayera in the book of Exodus, and the Zohar is in 32a. So he says like that, and the Ishmael are destined to rule over the land a long time, so long as it is empty, just as their form of circumcision is empty and imperfect. And they will prevent Israel from returning to their own land until the merit of the children of Ishmael shall have become exhausted, which is basically what we have seen. They have been there for 2,000 years, and now their merit is becoming almost gone, and the Jews are coming back. Now you have to understand that when this was written, there was no Ishmael. There were no kingdom of nation of Muslim powerful enough to make a war like we're gonna see. It's impossible that someone will know. Okay, that's what's gonna happen at the end of time. When we say Ishmael, we're not necessarily talking about all the Arabs. There's a lot of different types of Arabs. Here we're speaking about the Ishmael, like the ones who are like really fighting against Israel and trying to prevent Israel to go back to the land. We have also to understand that according to the Torah, Ishmael made teshuvah. He repented at the end of his life, and they say that the Ishmael at the end are going to recognize that Israel is the nation that was chosen to God to teach the nations and to guide the nation towards Hashem, and therefore he's the one that. Therefore, eventually we have to expect that Ishmael at the end. Also, we have to make sure that we understand that Ishmael is not necessarily just the Hamas or like Daesh, the ISIS. ISIS, it's much worse than it's much worse. ISIS is more Amalek. They are like they're not really human beings. In the full sense of the word, meaning they're so, according to many opinions, Amalek is meant to be destroyed. Their soul will be destroyed. They're not. When you have beings, human beings who can torture and kill children, their own children, just like that, without any emotions and remorse or regret, that's not. You cannot have a human soul. It's impossible. This defies the laws, and it's the same people. The Nazis were considered Amalek. Haman, who wanted to destroy the Jews, exterminate the Jews, were Amalek. So the people that we're dealing with today are not all Ishmael, but some are Amalek and some are mixed with Ishmael. So the whole combination, as Amalek is kind of pushing Ishmael, we have all types of people, but let's not get too confused. So he says, and the son of Ishmael will fight mighty battles in the world, and the sons of Edom will gather against them. So what he's saying, that a lot of Muslim, fanatic Muslims will go around and fight 9/11, bombs like as we're having today. This is speaking about today, what's happening today. It was never like that in history. How does he know at the end of time that this is what's supposed to happen? And how do we know it's the end of time? We know it's the end of time because we're in year 5778, and we know by according to Kabbalah that in the year 6000, so meaning in 222 years maximum, the end of time as we know it. We will do a video about it soon. The end of time as we know it, meaning in the world, in this very physical world, and with the mentality that the world has, it's going to be completely switched and switched. We're going to go in a complete new era, spiritual era, but that's what's preceding. So we know that this is happening now at the end of time. We know that the end of time is when the Jews are coming back to Jerusalem, and it has happening now in the past 70 years. So, and the son of Ishmael will fight mighty battles in the world, and the sons of Edom will gather against them. Sons of Edom refers to America, to the Western world, but mostly to America, and make war against them. Some on land, others on the sea, and some close to Jerusalem. And one shall prevail over the other. But the Holy One, the Holy Land, will not be delivered to the sons of Edom. So Israel will still become independent and not be in the hand of the America or the Western world, and not in the hand of the Muslims, fanatic Muslims either. Then the nation from furthest ends of the earth, for the end of the earth, will rise against wicked Rome and fight against her for 3 months. Again, here we're speaking of general concept. When we say evil, we're not saying America is evil. We're not saying there are evil powers and evil individuals, and overall they are the ones who run the big show, because the forces of evil are targeting the heads in order to attack, to take power. And at the end of time, which is now, all the forces of evil are doing everything to be able to fight and get and destroy, so that the forces of holiness is like a scientific thing. You bring the more light wants to be revealed, the more the darkness try to take over. Antibodies of the antibodies of evil, so to speak. So they run for 3 months. Obviously, 3 months can be 3 stages. It does not everything is completely literal. And many nations will gather there and fall into the hands of that people, until all the sons of Adam will congregate against her from all the ends of the earth. So what's happening? We have nations, and of the end of the end of the earth, we don't know exactly who it is yet. It can be, but it's obviously someone who has the guts and the power to fight against America, the Western world. So it can be Russia, or it can be China, or something like that, or a combination of them. But they will fight against America. And what's happening, it's going to be such a huge thing that all the sons of Adam, meaning all the allies of America, all the Western world, are going to gather and fight against this specific nation who was trying to destroy most of the world and the Western world. Then the Holy One will rise against them, as it says, a slaughter of the Lord. And now at that moment when all the nation will be fighting together in the same time, that's when the Holy One will rise against them, as it says, a slaughter of the Lord in Basra and a great slaughter in the land of Edom. So there will be big casualties. He will take hold on the ends of the earth, that the wicked might be shaken out of it. So he will wipe out the children of Ishmael from the Holy Land, and crush all the powers and principalities of the nations in the supramundane world. And only one power will remain above to rule over the nations of the world, namely the power representing Israel. So the Lord is your shadow at your right hand. So Israel will become eventually, Hashem is going to reveal himself, and Israel is going to become the guider. Through Moshiach will be guiding Israel, obviously, and he will be a human being that is incredible and be able to harmonize the whole world, for the whole world to work in peace, to rebuild itself in a more peaceful, loving, and spiritual way. And then, like the famous thing from Haggai and Zechariah, then I will turn to the peoples a pure language, and that they may all call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent. And on that day the Lord will be one, and his name will be one. Baruch Adonai L'olam, amen, amen. So eventually God is going to be revealed completely, and the world will all be united, trying to learn about God. The Jewish people will be teachers to the nations, and together, Jews and non-Jews of all the world, at least all the remnant of it, because according to many places, a lot of Jews are going to die, a lot of non-Jews are going to die. Obviously, there's going to be a resurrection, so anybody who were there in the past are worthy of coming back will come back, and will all be eventually reunited for 1,000 years of Moshiach. From year 6,000 to 7,000 is the 7th day, it's Shabbos, and we will all be together serving God with love, and it'll be incredible times that we're all waiting to see. this, what it says here, there are many other places that it speaks about Ishmael is going to do what it can to prevent. They are the one who are going to prevent the Jews from entering the land of Israel and fight in the world. So this is happening now. It's incredible to believe the prophecy. We believe what it says. So now that we know that, we are ready to we're ready to for the times. We have to be mentally ready. We don't know exactly how it's happened. We hope it's not going to be with death, with a lot of people dying, with atomic bombs or stuff like that. There are many scenarios possible. It all depends on how we play our part. But the more we learn Torah, the more we become better people, the more we love each other, the more we work on ourselves, the more we become spiritual, the less there will be a need for purification, so to speak, the less there will be a need for darkness. And we have, because the idea is that we'll be more ready. The more we learn about Torah and Kabbalah, all that, the more we'll be ready to understand how to deal with the end of times in a positive way. The prophet said we should not be scared. We need to have trust in God at the end of time, and because we know that it has a purpose. It's not all coincidence. There is a purpose, and we are all here to discover that purpose and live it. So may we all experience only good things and be spared of the evil and the darkness of the end of time. I will see you very soon on the next video.